Should I negotiate my divorce with my spouse before I talk to a lawyer? Hi, I'm Bill Farias, founder of Farias Family Law, and this is a question that came up about 3 weeks ago. I met with a gentleman who's moving toward divorce, and he had already discussed resolving his divorce with his wife. They talked about substantive issues, how they were going to resolve certain issues, who was going to get what, the arrangement for the children, support. And the issue that he was having was that he was doubting the offer that he made. He was having second thoughts. And so when we met, we figured out that he had offered too much. And now this put him in a very delicate situation because he was either going to move ahead with what he worked out with his wife, or he was going to have to go back to her and let her know that he wanted to take some stuff back, that he wanted to renegotiate. And of course, you can imagine that might make things a little bit difficult. The reason that it makes things difficult is there is this psychological principle called the endowment effect. And basically the way that it works is that somebody is more likely to value something they already have much more highly than if they don't have it yet and they have to go out and get it. So the best example is there was this study done where these mugs were given to participants, and so they split the participants in half, and on one side the participants had these mugs and they were asked what they would want in compensation for the mugs that they already have. On the other side, you had a group of people who did not yet have the mugs, and they were asked what they would be willing to pay for those mugs. So the result of the study was that the group that actually already had the mugs valued them almost twice as high as the group that didn't have them yet and would have to pay for it. So in other words, let's take some, I don't know if these were the numbers, but the group that already had the mugs wanted to sell them for $10 a mug, whereas the group that didn't have them yet thought that they were worth only $5. So the point here is that if you negotiate and you are essentially giving things to your spouse or giving your spouse an indication that you are willing to concede these items, if you later figure out that that's not in your best interest, good luck trying to take that away, because your spouse is going to feel like he or she already has that item and is going to be very reluctant to part with that item, and that may make things more complicated in terms of resolving your divorce. So look, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't negotiate at all. But I think the best way to think about this is figure out first where you fall on the risk spectrum. So on one end of the risk spectrum, you have people who are married a short amount of time. They haven't accumulated much in assets. They earn about the same amount of money. They don't have any kids. There really isn't a great chance or a high likelihood that there is going to be a significant dispute in that kind of situation. On the other hand, the other end of the risk spectrum has someone who was in a long-term marriage. There's a big disparity in income between the spouses. They've accumulated a lot of assets. They have children. There's going to be a support issue. There is much more on the line, obviously, in that case. And there's everything in between. So the farther away you are from the low end of the spectrum where you have nothing on the line, the more sense it makes to, at the very least, reach out to an attorney and talk to the attorney about your specific circumstances so that you can have a firm grasp on what you're entitled to before you start negotiating. Because if you start negotiating and you make a mistake, you may be putting yourself in a situation where it's difficult to dig out of that hole. If you have any other questions, you can call us 508-675-0464. You can email us at info@fariasfamilylaw.com. If you found this video helpful, you can subscribe to our channel, share this with anyone you think might benefit from it. You can also find us on social at Farias Family Law. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you. Have a good day.